what's up, big
And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 1326. Today is Friday, May 9th, 2025, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto. Right now, it's been some days, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m.ish. And today's top stories: Arizona governor signs law for state to keep unclaimed crypto. Trump crypto advisor David Bailey raises $300 million for Bitcoin investment firm. Ethereum's Pectra network upgrade goes live. What to expect? Bybit recovers liquidity levels 30 days after hack. Federal Reserve withdraws crypto unfriendly banking guidance, and Coinbase to hire 130 staff as it expands into Charlotte's fintech's hub, and much more. But first and foremost, of course, let me go ahead and take a quick look at these prices and give you all these good updates. I know it's been about a week or two, but believe me, you haven't missed much but upward trajectory. So it's all good and well in Bitcoin and crypto news. All right, Bitcoin is coming in $103,527, up 4%, 6.49% on the 7-day cycle. Ethereum at $2,353, up 18.9%, 27% on the 7-day cycle. Of course, we'll be talking about that upgrade there. XRP at $2.38, up 7.7%. BNB at number 5, $640 at up 4% right there. You can see Solana at $171, up 10.4%. Number 8, Dogecoin, 20 cents, up 12%. And number 9, Cardano, 79 cents, up 9.66%. Most people look like they're getting about 10%. Last but not least, number 10, Tron at 26 cents, up 5.47%. Fear and Greed Index has PAMP. It's a 70. Bitcoin dominance at a 62.7, and Ethereum dominance has semi-reclaimed itself at an 8.7%. Again, we'll talk about that. That has everything to do with the upgrade that just came and the hype around it. Who knows if it will stay? But first and foremost, I know you all want to talk Bitcoin prices with me. There were a couple of questions I forgot to write down in the Discord for this morning, so I'll have to come back next week with a couple of those questions about price. But let's just go ahead and talk Bitcoin price in general. What's going on? Why is it like this? Why are we pumping? What's happening next? First and foremost, one of the, I was going to cover this article, but I'll cover it because I already had a couple old articles. This goes directly into Bitcoin's price. BlackRock Bitcoin Fund wins best new ETF on a $643 million inflow day. This was on April 24th. That was on April 24th. And I believe what day was April 24th? Let me look at my calendar really quick. All right. So April 24th was a Saturday or whatever, which means it probably happened on a Friday or whatever. When I saw this news story come out, I was like, yeah, I'm not about to do the news right now. Like, here's the deal. I've already said BlackRock and some of these other institutions have been doing this time thing where they're kind of testing the stress of the market to say, hey, when can we pull out capital? When can we put it in? It's all coming from the same company who controls however much money they have in their portfolios. And that is about a 10 to 15%, as we can see now, swing in the price of Bitcoin. So that's all that's essentially happened. I saw somebody in Discord mention, hey, how much is tariffs affecting this? Tariffs and things like that are only affecting the price of Bitcoin from a psychological point of view, right? Again, I mentioned BlackRock because they do have that easy 10 to 12, 15% swing. So I'm mentioning them as like the polarizing person you can look at, or organization you can look at and see what I mean. So tariffs hit, you're an organization like BlackRock that has trillions of assets under management, easily playing with billion-dollar portfolios, right? If you are in tune as they are with the government and politicians and regulators, which they are, once again, you know what type of news is coming when, right? So maybe you don't know the type of tariff or the day, but you do know, hey, Trump's been in the background talking about tariffs, the president's administration talking tariffs. That can only mean one thing: fear in the market, right? People get shaken out. I've seen people all of a sudden turn into, once again, geopolitical and financial experts talking about these tariffs the last few weeks, when in reality, they have been wrong. Absolutely wrong. Everybody's talking about Trump's crashing the market. Everything's going down, blah, blah, blah. Everything is back up even higher once again. Honestly, I don't know if this is Bitcoin's all-time high, but no, we're at 107,000. We're broaching on that, right? So again, from a tariff point of view and some of the other things that are going on with the presidential administration that causes fear in the hearts of people who have these different portfolios, what's going on the traditional side isn't really affecting Bitcoin that much, with the exception of those institutions that represent those same people. So what I mean, BlackRock, again, I always talk about they had the firefighters portfolio of America, right? The New York Police Fund, all this other stuff. Yeah, when you're talking tariffs then and stuff, you don't want to bring them back that news. Hey, we're down 18% on the portfolio because of the tariff thing was happening and we knew it was going to dip. But instead of moving the capital, we kept it there. No, if you know tariffs are going to come and things of that nature are going to come, which will affect the markets and it will affect the people in the market more than the market itself. What I mean, again, maybe BlackRock has the appetite to say, we're not worried about the tariffs. We can stay in Bitcoin. It's solid. We're looking at the code. It will go up. But because they have, a fiduciary responsibility to their clients to where they have to say, yeah, you could lose money on this, or we have to make the right move. It makes sense for them to say, okay, we see tariffs on the horizon. We see all this international stuff. Let's take our money out of Bitcoin and let's roll it back into whatever else it is, right? Whether it's United States oil and gas, the US environment. I don't know, but they're taking all that capital out and they're putting it into something else. And it's basically they're putting it into a stable coin, right? They're essentially putting it into a stable coin. They're putting it into another investment portfolio. Once that kind of dies over and everything's happened, and they move the money like they want, as you can see here, a few weeks go by and then they come back and say, hey, we got our best day yet. Why? Because we're moving all the portfolios right back into Bitcoin, which we had them in to begin with. It's literally a switch of a button, a click of a button, what they're doing. And then you see the price gradually rise in the next couple of weeks. That on top of the fact we are getting into the summertime, every time we see a happening happen toward the summer is when you actually see the effects of the happening, right? So we just had a happening happen 2024. We're starting to see the effects of that right now, as well as institutions still pumping money into the space. And along with this is actually supposed to be the second story. I'll bring it up now. Trump crypto advisor David Bailey raises $300 million for Bitcoin investment firm. The headline is a story. I don't need to go more in depth. This is what it is. Like, more money is being raised, more institutions are pouring in. And again, now you have a friend of the presidential administration here saying, hey, we're opening up a Bitcoin and crypto investment fund firm as well. I wonder what direction the administration is going to go in as far as ensuring that price point stays high or low. Okay. I think it's going to stay high. I think he's going to continue to do things to protect this market. Why? Because this market paid for him to become the president by and large. So, again, those two stories, when you look at BlackRock, was about 2.5 weeks ago, winning the best new ETF on a $643 million inflow day. That was just a couple weeks ago. Who knows how many inflows they had since then? And then you have a $300 million one from a Bitcoin investment firm from David Bailey, Trump's crypto advisor. Folks, in one move, in one day, essentially, if you were to combine this into one day, not even a 24-hour day, in 60 minutes, you have $943 million going into Bitcoin and crypto from two organizations. That's almost $1 billion going into Bitcoin or crypto in general from two organizations. There is nothing wrong with the market. There's nothing wrong with the price point. It will continue to rise. I do think we'll see another dip. I know Jake Fever is probably in the comments right now, like, nah, the 100 is the lowest it's ever going to go. I will say we probably will see another dip. I still think we'll get to 130, 140. We'll see that 70, 80K type of dip. But I think we'll see one in the interim then. I don't think we're smooth selling to 120, 130 just yet. I do not believe so. I think this volatility is a response of what's been going on with the administration, and everyone's scared and the world's going to end. Even though every day I wake up, it is the exact same as this has been the last 20 years, but whatever. Essentially, I think the fears was shaking these price points and making the volatility. The code is strong. The market's stronger than ever before. There's more eyes on it. There's more capital flowing to this market. There's nothing wrong. The price is great. Expect more dips because why? If tomorrow BlackRock hears something from the administration that says, I don't know, only American steel is allowed to be used for the next 2 years. We're putting this in writing. It would make sense for BlackRock to say, hey, we're pulling out $600 million of Bitcoin. We're putting it into steel today. Even if we don't write it out for the next 2 years, we're going to write it out for the next 42 to 72 hours, maybe the next 3 weeks, and get as much, as much gains as we can before rotating it back into Bitcoin or crypto as well. So again, these are things and the reason why you're seeing that dip. As you can see, we're not seeing like a crazy dip to the 60s and the 40s or anything like that. If that were to happen, I'll say there might be more at play. But right now, this 10 to 15% we're seeing every few weeks, that is legitimately institutions at this point. And as more institutions enter the market and you start seeing these investment firms pop up where they're starting off with $300 million, you can expect to see that 15 to 12 to 15% turn to 17% to 20%. I don't think it'll go much higher than 25, 30%. Why? Because at that point, the price of Bitcoin would legitimately have to be at least 250,000 of Bitcoin. And that would just change everything as we know it. But right now in the short term, they're definitely kind of flipping flopping and making the market move how they move. All right. So that is the price of Bitcoin. I want to spend some time on that day because I know a lot of people are like, what the heck is going on? Is it good? Is it bad? Where are we at? It's all good. Somebody said resetting the financial world market. I love it. Jump out, girls. What up, though? Patrick, Walter, Eric G, Memories, and Mike, Wisdom Bars, Reno Gamble. Listen, I didn't realize it's been that long, Wisdom Bars. I looked at the last show date today. I was like, "Ooh, hasn't been that long." I knew. Listen, I wake up early. Believe me, folks, I'm ready to go. But it's just one of those things where it's just like I mean, even today, that's why I'm doing some of the older news stories. Like even today, some of the news stories are just getting so repetitive. I told you the trend of the news cycle right now is continuing as we speak. So it is what it is. JB, what's going on? Les Square, New Jersey in the house. Chicky Z, Truth Beliefs. No, they ain't not getting me. Uni Law, Super Mario, Saber Saves, T, Timeden, everybody. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. Other few stories of the day. Like I said, there's some good ones today. I did enjoy reading. Oh, here's all right. I got to give you the one semi rant slash bad news story. And that is this one, Arizona. You remember when I said the like the I can't speak the positive laws and legislation for Bitcoin and crypto was not good, or the positive regulation and the pro crypto regulation wasn't good because you're essentially saying, hey, if I'm okay with this, I gotta be okay. I have to be okay when you do something negative or something I disagree with. This is one of those things. Not only do I disagree with, but I'm telling you, it is going to spread like the plague in the United States. Arizona governor signs law for state to keep unclaimed crypto. Again, you got to love American democracy. I mean, I'm not in Arizona. Maybe you all voted on it. You let me know if you're in Arizona if you voted on this. But I, again, been paying attention to the news and still been waking up early the last couple of weeks. I haven't been hearing any type of vote on this one. Absolutely amazing. The governor said, you know what? We're just going to keep y'all stuff. And here's my thing before I get into this. Like, do you do this with quote unquote unclaimed bank accounts? Right? Like this is the same. I got an unclaimed bank account for 3 years with millions of dollars. Is this governor or government just say, yeah, we're keeping that? I don't know. But I'm telling you, this is beyond a slippery slope because not only is Arizona about to get away with this, when they tell the United States government, the federal government, Uncle Sam, I know how to save you 3% right now. I know how to make you an additional 2% right now. Uncle Sam, Arizona, what the hell are you talking about? Have you ever thought about just keeping everybody's unclaimed crypto? Oh, we didn't we didn't think, yeah, we could just keep it. We can just keep we don't got to vote on it. We can just keep it. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs has signed a law allowing the state to claim ownership of digital assets that have been abandoned for at least 3 years. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. What if you're in a position like Ross Ulbricht and you've been charged and sentenced to a sentence that may be unconstitutional or unfair to you, or maybe not to you, but to other people. Clearly, since he was released, you're telling me, hey, if you got millions of billions of dollars in Bitcoin or whatever else, and I don't know, you go in a coma for 4 years, you get sentenced to prison for a few years, you move out the country, I don't know, whatever happens for 3 or 4 years. If that time goes by, Arizona governor is saying, oh, it's ours now. Listen, I keep telling y'all, we're looking at the wrong places when we talk about the real gangsters in America. That is like the most gangster thing you could do right there. We're just gonna keep it. If you don't take care, I mean, listen, squatter rules, right? If you're doing that, that's the same as a squatter saying, well, look, the landlord ain't been here in about 3 years, so I moved in. What's the problem? What's the problem, Arizona governor? What's the problem with squat? He just used squatter rules on unclaimed crypto. This is the same thing. Nope. I ain't seen the landlord here. You seen him? You talked to him? I ain't talked to him. Hey, I ain't talked to him. Okay, look, crypto is global. It's global. So this is amazing. Shout out to Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs being a real gangster. I always appreciate those because look, you can't do nothing but respect them. They're gonna get their way. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs has signed a bill into law allowing the U.S. state to keep unclaimed crypto and establish a Bitcoin reserve fund that won't use any taxpayer money or state funds. Hobbs signed House Bill 2749 to law on May 7th, which allows Arizona to claim ownership of abandoned digital assets if the owner fails to respond to communications within 3 years. Absolutely hilarious. Once again, the state custodians can stake the crypto to earn rewards or receive airdrops. Wow, which can then be deposited into what Arizona has called a Bitcoin and digital asset reserve fund. Top of my head, I will say, if you live in Arizona, this is a great time for you all to get into, I guess, a city job that has something to do with Bitcoin. We said it was going to happen. It's happened, folks. Um, I do not believe right now Arizona, the state government, has the right people in place to stake and earn rewards and receive airdrops and do all those things. Like, it sounds good. I get what they're doing to their people. Oh, that sounds amazing. But we all know one wrong click, one wrong decimal, one missed anything could jack up a lot of stuff. And you're talking about a lot of capital possibly at stake. This law ensures Arizona doesn't leave value sitting on the table and puts us in a position to lead the country in how we secure, manage, and ultimately benefit from abandoned digital currency. The bill sponsor Jeff Wieninger said on the May 7th statement. Once again, they're talking like they're traders. This law ensures Arizona doesn't leave value sitting on the table. Well, so you're going to trade it? You're essentially going to trade it. Just say we're going to trade the crypto. Like, what do you mean? You're not leaving value sitting on the table if you put that into Bitcoin. I think we all know that by now, right? So this is what I mean by they say these things to confuse you. I used to do this. I know how to write this the right way. Like, they're trying to confuse you. We don't want to leave value sitting on the table. So we're going to trade it. Sounds good. What happens when they trade it into that one shit coin? What happens when they trade it into, you know what? Here we go. What happens when they hit us with this? I can see Arizona governor now. I can see Arizona governor now. Katie gonna be on stage talking about, listen, I got this thing called BitConnect. They guarantee us, Arizona. They guarantee us 15% a day. They guarantee, my Chuck boys, 15% a day. Okay, they're definitely biting on that. Why? Because they're not going to leave value sitting on the table. It puts them in a position to lead the country. Like, again, I want to be positive in that I hope they do this the right way, and this can make money for the state of Arizona and Arizonians. I believe that's what you call them. But on the flip side, again, there was no democratic process. This is why we have Bitcoin. This is why we have consensus. I never heard of people saying, hey, how do we vote on this? How do we make this 3 years or 5 years or 10 years? And again, this becomes such a slippery slope because you are out of your mind if you don't think the federal government is going to do the same thing. And right now it's 3 years. What happens when it becomes 6 months? What happens when it becomes 2 months? What happens when it becomes, oh, well, you didn't use your ID, your social security number. Oh, hey, you got bad credit. You can't get your crypto back. Oh, hey, you got you owe money on this car note for this private company. Can't get your Bitcoin and crypto back. This is beyond a slippery slope, folks. Beyond a slippery slope. Arizona, shout out to Katie for being a real G. Can't do nothing but respect it. It looks like because it's happening, right? The governor signed it. It's not like this is a maybe or a possibility. It's happening. But again, beyond a slippery slope. I can't wait to see how they actually what is going to be from exchanges. Are they going to look at exchange wallets? How are they going to decide this? Is it going to be lost Bitcoin? Is it going to be Bitcoin they essentially seize, as it says here? Let's see. Yeah, which allowed the states to invest seeds funds into Bitcoin, citing concerns over public using public funds for untested assets. There we go. Somebody's making sense. Who is this? Hobbs vetoed. Okay, all right. So somebody is smart over there. Who is this Hobbs person who vetoed this? Somebody already made a veto to this, saying, "Oh, this is the same governor. She vetoed it, and I know what happened. She vetoed it, and then the people who work with Trump and everybody who saw how they did the money, they was like, you see how much money we leaving on the table, respectively." And she was like, all right, let's go ahead and make this happen. I agree with the best seize funds. That makes sense. Hey, if you seize it, you're talking drugs, crime, whatever, all the bad things in the world, right? I even though, whatever, drugs, drug companies, who knows? I'm not gonna get into that. But basically, yeah, if you're talking a criminal act, something that's committed against the law in the United States, and you seize those funds, then yeah, have a go at it, right? Invest it all into project number 3,000 on Coin Market Cap and see what happens next. Like, I'm all for it. But just to say, hey, we're just taking unclaimed crypto, again, this is beyond a slippery slope. But again, shout out to the real G's in America. Shout out to the real ones. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs said, I don't need your opinion. I don't need your friendship. I'm gonna go ahead and sign this into action. All right, let me see what else is going on in these comments. And you know what? Shout out. I'm not gonna say let's go, Memories Mike, but shout out to Hex. Look, I will say this. Richard Hart and the Hex Kids, you all got beyond lucky. This has nothing to do with you all, your code, or your project, or your leader. It has everything to do with the sitting president saying, what? Who? Man, if y'all gonna get him for that, I know they're gonna come for me for this. Everybody's off the hook. It has everything to do with the sitting president saying everybody's off the hook. SEC drop everything. He was included in that drop, all right? So yes, he just got the biggest gift from the crypto gods out there that can ever be given. But shout out to him for making it through the door. All right, he made it through the door. It's official. The money's his. He made it through the door. Time for another Louis V tour. All right, hey, they dropped it once. It's dropped. What I will say is, I would definitely donate to the American government right now if I was Richard Hart, just to be like, hey, Let me sprinkle something everywhere. Just let y'all know. My bad for any hard feelings. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I know you probably won't. But again, the government saved him on this one. He didn't save himself. He was saved by the market, if anything. Let's see what else we got. Yes, but seized funds and crypto are not unclaimed. I agree with that. Chikizi, I agree with that. That's not unclaimed as well. Good. That's a good point. Free funds are always better to governments. You know it. And here's a problem too. Like all things, if you were to do that, I would like to see it kept in crypto. The funds to be kept in Bitcoin and crypto, where we can trace it and watch and see exactly everywhere it goes. But we know that is probably not going to happen. Jake said they don't get it. It's only 21 million Bitcoin, and everyone has announced they will be buying Bitcoin. Go alone. Exactly. Let's see. Wouldn't you have to give them access to it if you have private keys? Shouldn't you be okay? I agree, and that's why I'm thinking it's probably going to start with exchanges first. And what have I been telling you all for the longest? I'm about to bring up Bybit in a moment. I've been saying it for the longest. In fact, I'm going to bring up Bybit next because of this. Um, these exchanges are stealing money, people. They don't have it. They're taking it, right? And I think now they're going to start working with the government to steal even more money, right? The government came down on them. You all don't have money laundering, banking license, blah, 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 right? Because the banks wanted them to do that. And in this ever changing and adaptable environment, these exchanges did adapt and say, all right, whoa, slow down, slow down. Instead of having all these new licenses and regulations and everything and blah, 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 they understand. You all want capital. You all want money. What if the money comes from all these empty wallets we have sitting here? I mean, that's easily $100 million, $2 billion, whatever the number is, right? I can see the government saying, you know what? That can work for now. We will accept that for now. Legislation gets put into play, it gets signed over and passed, no vote needed. And here we are today. So I think it's going to start off with exchanges first. Exchanges have a ton of wallets where, and this is where it's going to become like not even a slippery slope. This is where it's going to be the dirty game. They're going to steal the money. Bybit, I'm looking at you. Exchanges uh, have a lot of people who can't get their capital back for whatever reason, right? Maybe the exchange overnight said, hey, if you want to get your Bitcoin and crypto back, you need to provide ID. Maybe you need to provide an ID only from these certain countries which you're not in. Maybe you need to provide an ID, a phone number, and a tax return. Like they're going to keep adding these layers to where you can access your Bitcoin or withdraw it. To the government eyes, every year, every month, every time that goes by, or every year that goes by, that's just another year. So if an exchange can essentially stonewall you and say, hey, we're only going to respond to your email. We know how they do it. We're only going to respond. We're in Discord. Trust, we're having issues with them as well. We're only going to respond to your email once every 2 or 3 weeks. We're only, and then when we do respond, we're going to act, well, what do you mean? Well, they're not even helping you. They're not providing solutions. They're acting just as confused as you. So this email thread can go on another 2 or 3 or 4 emails. Next thing you know, it's like 3 or 4 months then went by. And that's if you stay on top of it, right? That's if you're on top of it. So imagine someone who's not on top of it. Emails keep going by, months go by, years go by, and the next thing you know, they're like, Uncle Sam, we got another account for you. Boom. Here go another quick smooth 12K. In fact, here go another 3,000 accounts, 3,000 accounts amounting to 50 million or whatever, right? You don't know. So again, this is going to be a slippery slope. Also, I pointed out Bybit because you remember what I said. Everyone, i.e., Cointelegraph, essentially, it looks like they're taking a lot of sponsorship dollars from them. They're not announcing it. They're just running Bybit articles every day almost at this point. And I say you shouldn't feel bad for them because they're actually stealing and keeping people cryptos, and they're just as bad as the bad guys as the hackers. Well, just to let you know how accurate that was, this article came out May 7th. It says Bybit recovers liquidity levels 30 days after hack. Bybit recovers liquidity levels 30 days after the hack. I thought they said the day of the hack or the next day that everything was okay. That liquidity was there, the money was there, nobody crypto is missing. Was not a person saying no, it's definitely not there. Some is definitely missing, and that's why people can't withdraw. There's Reddit threads about people not being able to withdraw or Bybit, and these are the folks who are giving people 6 to 8 month to 1 year runarounds to get their crypto back. And now, 30 days after the hack, they're saying now we're at the liquidity levels. I highly doubt they're there now. What they mean to say is, yeah, we can announce we're at the liquidity level just in case a whale comes and pulls something out. We look good. But why didn't you say this 30 days ago? So you're telling me for 30 days you did not have your liquidity levels, which means you don't have the money people have in the accounts. Like it's pretty simple, folks. This is the same as Terra Luna saying, hey, I know we said we were going to do the stable coin and mix all these different cryptos, and we're going to have this algorithmic stable coin. But instead of doing all that, we're just going to buy Bitcoin. And that's going to help our algo. And I was like, wait. If you buy Bitcoin, it does its own thing. Like, how does that help the algo or your coin? That doesn't make sense. You just took a bunch of other people's money who bought Terra to buy Bitcoin. This is the same thing. Bybit is saying, hey, we got hacked, but we got your money. 30 days goes by. All right, now we for real got your money. Wait. I thought you already had the money, man. Like, folks, if you're still in Bybit, I would say watch out. I expect more stories to come from them. The only way they get out of this is the same way Richard Hart got out of it. In the same way CZ, when announced CZ, you saw he came out and publicly said he did ask Trump to get rid of that money laundering charge he had on him. So that is the only way these folks are going to squeeze out of all of this. And that is the Trump administration and federal government says, we're going to give you this pass only because we're giving everyone a pass as well. But again, you can see liquidity levels. Bottom line, folks, if these statements and sentences, these organizations, no matter how big they are or how much money they have, don't make sense, they don't make sense. Okay. It is that simple. I mean, not to go there, but it's like, you know, things are binary. You're a guy or a girl, especially when it comes to like medical things where it's like, hey, you got a prostate exam. You're either a male or female. Hey, you're pregnant. You're either a male or female. This is the same thing. When Bybit or some of these people say the craziest things where they're like, hey, we have all the capital. And then a month later, they say, okay, we recovered our liquidity. You should be worried. Okay. They don't have what they say. They're trying to talk in circles. And by the way, Cointelegraph is literally running a new Bybit article at like every 12 to 18 hours at this point. Why is that happening? Other than probably sponsored posts going on in the background. All right, Ethereum, got to talk about them. This is the reason why they're pumping right now. Ethereum's Pectra network upgrade goes live. This article is on Cointelegraph May 7th, what to expect. I'm not going to go into details, super detailed, because it adds a lot of, or they're saying they're adding a lot of upgrades, right? So I'll skim through the upgrades. But the reason why I'm not going to go through it is because all the upgrades they're talking about don't even matter. Like scaling, gas fees. That's the only upgrade that matters the most right now. And when I skimmed through this article, which I did do this morning, I skimmed through it. Some of the things they weren't really talking about scaling like that. They weren't. I was like, no. We're not about to do this Ethereum round the world tour and hand clap if the gas fees haven't been fixed. And by the way, before you all in the comments tell me they have been fixed, remember, I don't think they ran out of that donated money they put toward Ethereum, 2 or 3 months ago. I think it was a few $1,000,000 or something like that to help with gas fees, which reduced them. And you remember I said they're doing it at the same, it was March. It was around February and March. And I was like, hey, they're trying to do it at the same time as their upgrade. That way the upgrade can make it look like the gas fees are lower. And the cycle continues. People put money into it. Gas fees are lower. This is the new Bitcoin. And then once they realize that donated money runs out, and that gas fee goes back to normal and people try to pull out, they've already essentially bought the bag, right? So that's my thing with it. I think there's a lot of that donated money is still left over. So I'm not sure what the gas fees are going to look like. But again, this is Ethereum's Pectra upgrade. We've been waiting on it, or Pectra network upgrade. We've been waiting on for a while. It's finally went live, bringing smart contracts, higher staking limits, and improved scalability through EIPs. And again, the smart contract, the higher staking limits, like really? Who wants to stake more right now? This is what I'm talking about, the tone deafness of some of these. That's a new word I just created. But this is what I mean by some of these organizations are tone deaf. You got Bybit finally saying a month later, we got liquidity. You got Ethereum saying, hey, with our new upgrade, you can stake more. Why would I want to put more capital on your platform when it costs more money to move it and remove it? Like, that makes absolutely no sense. But improve scalability as well. So let's take a quick look. Pectra is live on Ethereum mainnet. Smart account wallet UX features now active. Oh, cool. L2 scaling data storage blobs increased by 2x. Validator UX improvements live. Community member will continue to monitor for any issues over the next 24 hours. And again, now it's been about 2 days as well. So I haven't used Ethereum in the last few days, so I don't know how much better is working and scaled. Not only that, I want to wait at least for another month or two to use it anyway to see what's going to happen when those donations fully run out. But as it says here, the upgrade is live. Let me know, some of you folks I know love Ethereum, in the comments. Let me know if you use it already and it's working as should be. Are these smart contracts finally here? Are we in the future? Or is this just more of Ethereum trying to dangle that carrot and get a nice little pamp during the summertime? And let's not forget, as I mentioned, when it comes to Ethereum's price as well as everyone else's, they still benefit for being number 2 on coin market cap and things like that, right? Ethereum still definitely benefits from first mover advantage. So what I mean, there's new people coming to Bitcoin and crypto every day. They see Bitcoin, oh my God, 90,000, 100,000. All right, what's next? I heard something about Ethereum. It's next Bitcoin, right? That's how they try to promote it sometimes. It's only 2,000 or 1,800. Let me get it. So that once again, they just benefited off that. And hey, kudos to Ethereum for launching that upgrade or making that upgrade live as Bitcoin started to pump. But again, folks, they are not tethered together. They're just riding the ride up. I want to see what happens when Bitcoin goes sideways, stalls out, dips, or if Ethereum upgrade, what it will be. So we'll see what happens. But again, I think they're just riding Bitcoin's coattails right now. They're at 8.7%. Like I said, 3 to 5 weeks, 6 weeks max. Like in the, and you know what? I take that back only because we're going into the summertime. I would say in 6 weeks that share of Ethereum should decrease. And you know, even after a pump, it should decrease because if Bitcoin goes to 110, 115, I can still see Ethereum going down like 8%. But if there's any sideways movement or dip in the next 6 weeks, Ethereum, that 8.7% is retracing right back to 7 point something, whatever it was just at a few weeks ago. You better believe that. They're not doing anything right now. They're not having any motion. They're just talking a lot. So we'll see what happens next. Let's see. Stake and Shake accepting Bitcoin starting on May 16th. Oh, shout out to the Stake and Shake. All right, all right. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Memories of Mike said the 5090 GPUs are finally in stock around here, and the damn things are running 3K. You already know it. They are not going to make those things cheap at all. Let's see. What else do we have going on in the comments? Les, what up? What up? Oh, man, I appreciate you all being here for sure. For sure. I appreciate the support. Jake said they're privatizing Ethereum 2000 ETH to stake, no longer 32 ETH. Big boy game. Ethereum will be used to token fiat stock and other assets. I can see that as well. I can see Ethereum being used to tokenize other stocks and assets as well. But again, even if they were to do that, there is no organization right now. None of these institutions are going to say, hey, we can tokenize this or make it an asset, whatever. It's just going to cost, let's say we do $1 million transaction. It's just going to cost us like $30,000. They're not doing that. They're not playing that game. I don't see that actually happening. But again, I have been wrong. We'll see. Let's see. Yeah, Alec Pio, I am growing out my hair. I got a new agent out here in Hollywood. They was like, you know what? You don't got no photos of your hair. I was like, hey, say less. I've actually never grown my hair out, so I'm having fun with it right now. All right. That's why I took a couple weeks off. It was going through the crazy phase. Couldn't show that. Now let's see. Federal Reserve is in the news. All right, so we're gonna end this on some great news stories. Pretty good news story. I won't say great. First, this is a great news one. Federal Reserve withdraws crypto unfriendly banking guidance. This is from April 24th. Believe it or not, I've had this tab open since then because I was like, oh, whenever I do come back, I'm definitely going to talk about this story. So that just goes to show you I've had this tab open that long. But yes, the Fed is rescinding its supervisory letter from 2022 that called for notification in advance of planned or ongoing crypto asset activities. And again, to me, this says it was treason, right? Why would you try to stop the flow of U.S. innovation, the U.S. job creation, U.S. markets? Why would you try to stop the flow? Oh, I forgot. It's because you create the money for the entire planet. All right. This is an easy one. I'm not going into detail about the article, but it is at least cool to see the Federal Reserve say they won. They've essentially capitulated. Now, what I think they realized, which people have tried to tell them from the beginning, is like, hey, banks don't have to disappear, right? It doesn't like, yeah, there's people who still say, I don't want my private keys. I know they can take it. I don't want it. You all hold it for me. It's people still like that. So again, there's wins to be had amongst the Federal Reserve and banks and things of this sort, or even turning things to stable coins and one-to-one to different dollars. Like there's still ways to be in this market. I think they see that now and they're starting to see ways to make that capital or to replace some of the lost capital they will be losing as people move away from the traditional sector. And now they're a little bit more crypto friendly. That along, of course, with the new administration probably staring them down their soul saying, hey, this thing's going to go one way, the easy way or the real easy way. How do y'all want it? U.S. Federal Reserve came back and said, you know what? We are withdrawing that guidance that served to deter banks from engaging in crypto and stablecoin activities. Why is this really happening? Well, it says here in the second paragraph, the board is rescinding its 2022 supervisory letter establishing an expectation that the state member banks provide advance notification of planned or current crypto asset activities. The Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve explained in the April 24th statement. Now, why are they doing this, huh? It says here it initially flagged that crypto may pose risk related to safety and soundness, consumer protection, and financial stability of the American financial system. Quote, certain types of crypto assets, such as stablecoins, if adopted at a large scale, could also pose risk to financial stability, including potentially through destabilizing runs and disruptions in the payment system. Okay, so this is not even a conspiracy or I have to hide it. They're not hiding it. Let's call it for what it is. This little sentence right here says that, well, let me summarize what it really says, because let's not forget the Federal Reserve is a private company. So a private company that controls a global economy is saying, hey, if crypto takes off at a large scale, it can destabilize us and cause a bank run. We'll no longer be in power. I still do not see the issue with this. You know what I mean? Like, I get it from a national security standpoint, kind of, but that's one of the things where it's like, well, why are you worried if you're doing nothing wrong? Or have you been doing something wrong? As in not allowing, I don't know, tons of Americans the ability to bank all because they don't have a home address, right? Are you not allowing, or are you overcharging accounts? What, they overdraft fees $35, a savings account fee is $8. Like, why? These don't cost anything for Bitcoin. So when I see this come out, when I see this statement, when I summarize it, this is saying, hey, we're a private company called the Federal Reserve. And this new open source technology that everyone is allowed to use will displace us as being the most powerful organization on the planet. And we'll no longer be able to get our way and make people do our bidding. This is what this is about. And so, but why is this really happening? This is really happening because the Trump administration, I won't say him, maybe his son, right? Whoever knows the most about Bitcoin and crypto, they're essentially doing one of the greatest playbooks right now. Disorientation and confusion, right? What you want to do, and I already said this was going to happen with every agency. You want to, what was the guy, the SEC? He sent the whole crypto desk. He sent the one guy to the IT desk, right? He sent the entire crypto desk in different directions. There will not be anyone focused on Bitcoin, crypto, or Bitcoin and crypto taxes. And like by the end of the next 2 years, I'm telling you now, he is doing this because he realizes, hey, I got my Trump coin. Millennia, she got her coin. We got different projects. We got this new $300 million investment firm. Federal Reserve, you need to retract everything you said about these banks not playing with crypto, allowing a crypto accounts or whatever else, because me and my friends, we're about to unload a ton of crypto bags on folks, and we want them to be able to suffer in silence with you all. No, but seriously, he's essentially just trying to make it like a major dragnet so you can't pinpoint one thing. It's essentially becoming a Bitcoin blockchain almost, to where you have all these different nodes and operations in different ways, and none of them are connected. So right now, we're connecting in different ways. I'll say that. So again, when you look at the SEC, he's disbanding them, sending them in different directions. They've thrown out apology letters left and right. CFTC is already reeled this is back in. Futures reeled it in. Now you have the Federal Reserve essentially making an apology letter, throwing it out there. All right, my bad. We here for Bitcoin and crypto. This is all coming from the administration and is not being placed so that we can have a better, more regulated and controlled environment. It's being put in place so we can have a crazier environment. All right. I think the administration is hoping this gets so crazy, no one can control what's happening next, who's coming here, what's whatever. Like, it will be too much money to keep your eyes on. And I think that's what he wants, not for the greater good of all the people, but once again, because him and his friends have so much tied up into this market. It won him the presidential election of one of the most powerful countries on the planet, folks. All right. The Federal Reserve definitely were about to change their tune. And I guarantee you, the last one who still hasn't changed their tune yet, and they're coming, is the IRS. I figured what had happened this year immediately. I'm interested to see what happens next year with the IRS. I think he's definitely going to throw some blows their way. They're pretty much the only one who hasn't received some heavy ones yet. I think he's coming from, because that's the last step in this whole, I can make my Trump a millennia coin and we can just take all the billions of dollars and disappear forever without having to pay any taxes or having any issues. Like, that's the only way that works. You got to attack head on. So that's what I'll be waiting on next. And again, I think that would be a good thing for the entire market and community. That alone, if it's anything that says, hey, we can't tax Bitcoin anymore, period, that just that alone, or you can only tax crypto when it's spent, or what, something similar. If that goes into effect, 50K up. I'm not even putting a percentage on it. I'm putting a dollar amount. That the price is going up $50,000 more. All right, easy. When people, it becomes a tax shelter overnight. So I do think we'll hear more about Trump administration and the IRS. We haven't seen it yet, but I do believe it's going to come. When it does come, like Jake said, y'all better be buckled up, because it may take off. If it becomes a tax shelter, a real one, it's going to take off to levels you've never seen before overnight. Let's see. You might have to do a vlog on what it's like to be out. So I don't want to get into it because I talk about stuff and you don't end up happening. Long short, Yes, that is some other things I'm working in the background. For those who don't know, I used to have a podcast back in the day. Anyway, it was pretty fun, all this other stuff. I used to roll with all the people who were the Kevin Samuels before he was him. Not saying I was in there. I did business stuff, but that's what they did. So I just knew a bunch of these type of dudes, which is why he used to always say, Kevin Samuels just like, I didn't invent this stuff. He didn't. He was a student of a lot of these OGs from back in the day in different countries and stuff. But I bring that up because no, I did have my own podcast and some other stuff. And at this point, I am like a successful commercial actor, and I did want to share some of that stuff. So that's one of the projects I've been working on in the background, which is almost ready to roll out. And this basically is going to be for folks who want to come to Hollywood, learn how to make it, at least make a little bit of money to live here. Some of the things you need to do. All right. Last but not least, back to crypto, Coinbase. I want to announce this article because it shows the capitulation. Coinbase hires or to hire 130 plus staff as it expands into Charlotte's fintech hub. Now I will say this. I haven't mentioned him in a while, but I'll mention him for this article. The guy who scammed everybody, Isaiah Bitcoin Say Jackson, the guy who scammed everybody, that's coming out soon too. Believe me, that's coming out soon. We're almost at a full year since he's disappeared. I could probably share the email right now why he disappeared. But yeah, my point is I give him props. He did try to tell Charlotte years ago because Charlotte is one of the biggest banking sectors. You got Bank of America, all this. It's just people. Listen, those folks there, no offense to Charlotte and North Carolina in general, but it is what it is. Y'all be sucking that bank's teeth. Y'all thinking this is the end all be all, but at the same time be protesting and don't understand why you don't get what you want out of life. Like you work for the banks, you're using dollars, and then you try to protest about things you're upset about, and nothing happens. They don't understand why this is just like a terrible cycle, but whatever. My point is this: Coinbase is coming in. And I think the same thing is going to happen. All these people who are just like, hey, I got a family. I just need to work. I get it. I get it. I get it. They're about to quit the banks and they're going to go work over at Coinbase. Nothing's going to change. This is how history remains the same. Instead of having a banking sector in North Carolina or Charlotte, it looks like we're going to have a crypto exchange / banking sector. Once Coinbase goes there and does this thing, I can imagine so many more companies come. Now, here's the thing I will say. Messed up, but it's being real. North Carolina has a ton of amazing schools. Probably like when it comes to state colleges, probably some of the best colleges in that state of all, like most states in the United States, to be honest. Like there's great colleges there. Um, they're not all getting into banking and crypto the same way, especially in Charlotte. So my only thing about Charlotte is what type of staff, what type of jobs are you going to be hiring, and what type of education process is going to be there. I do need to hit up Coinbase ASAP because this might be the final way in. But I am interested to see what type of education and things are going to be going toward this because, you know, for sure, Charlotte has 130 folks that can work staff at Coinbase, but I don't know if they're going to be doing it at the price Coinbase wants. Again, this looks like they're trying to establish this fintech hub and everything else. I'm telling you now, like in immediate Charlotte, there aren't that many people who are like that uh hip to Bitcoin and crypto and how to maneuver and make it and like to work for Coinbase. So again, can be taught, of course. I'm interested to see how they teach it. I'm sure there will be smooth transitions because you do have all these folks who work for the bank, just going over to work for Coinbase. But get ready for the next 20 to 30 years, folks. Here we are. We will have Coinbase here to stay. We will have exchanges here to stay. It looks like we're going to be doing a quasi banking / crypto Bitcoin thing at most of these banks and institutions. This is going to be the future right now. Uh, all good, I guess, right? More people get jobs, get hired. I will hope to see Coinbase pay people more than the traditional banking sector because they're making so much more money. But regardless, shout out to Charlotte for getting something different. Hopefully, we can see that Bitcoin bug finally spread through there because, again, I mean, I believe it was in 2018. I was at CIAA conference. If you all remember when I spoke to the regulator, we was in Charlotte trying to talk about Bitcoin and crypto, and people are just like, huh, what? Some people were with it. A lot of people weren't. But that was in 2018. And then here we are now, Bitcoin at 103,000. And instead of this was really crazy. I'll use myself as an example. 2018, I'm in Charlotte, blah, blah, blah. Here we are. Instead of the greater Charlotte area, like not even needing to submit resumes, right? Like if you've been in this space since 2018, you can go to this job and just send Coinbase a snapshot of your wallet, right? Show them some transactions from 2017, from 2020. They'll get the picture. But instead of doing that, these people have worked for banks the last 6 or 7 years. And now, instead of being or having any type of wealth or dividends, and by the way, if I was in Charlotte right now, I'd be rich. I'd be rich. And I'm rich in Charlotte. I'm not rich in Los Angeles. I'm a normal dude. In Charlotte, I am rich. So again, for people to like ignore this since 2018 and now Coinbase comes back and they're hiring staff, it's unfortunate to see. It's kind of crazy. I don't want to say poetic because I'm not excited about it, but I am happy to see they do get their base hit to crypto. they do get an opening to this space. And now that Coinbase is like the biggest game in town, maybe the rest of the city and the state will start taking Bitcoin and crypto serious. So we'll see what happens. I won't say state because I do know, oh boy, Bo, you know, you got Bo that went to NC State. He's the crypto czar, deputy, whatever. He's in the house. But again, it's unfortunate because it looks like just specific Charlotte, I can already see it's like it's about to be the same old same. In 20 years, it's going to be a ton of people working all the crypto exchanges throughout the city. And it's going to be like, probably doing the same thing, protesting about stuff they don't like, upset about stuff they like, but at the same time, it's like, but you keep all your Bitcoin in the exchange. They're like, yeah, why wouldn't you? And it's like, all right, good luck with whatever you got planned next. I mean, I hope it works out. All right, that is the show for today. Smash that like and share, and I will see you all back on Monday. I'm going to go back to the normal schedule. I'm hoping the news cycle kind of picks up. I'm seeing the price point pick up. I know that brings excitement. I see a lot of questions in the Discord. I'll try to get to that on Sunday, but smash that like and share. I will see you all back on Monday with some more crypto news. Folks, the market is alive and well. Just keep dollar cost